This is a foot treadle kit that raises the presser foot on the professional sewing machines. If your professional sewing machine's already in its tabletop, remove it from the tabletop. Then we'll turn this tabletop on its side so we can actually adjust this lower frame to position the foot treadle. With the lower frame over here, it will not work. We'll have to move it over to this side so that we can actually have a good position for pressing on that foot treadle. Remove the bolts, washer, and nut, and then move this bracket over to the front of the portion of the K leg as shown here, from here to here. And then install those bolts, washer, and nut just as you did previously when you put this K leg together. The washer goes on, then the nut. Now it should be positioned near the middle section of that sliding slot or towards the back section of it as shown here in the video. Then lock it down with a wrench. Now find these hinge brackets in your kit and install the plastic insert into the middle of them as shown here in the video. They snap into place. We recommend installing these brackets in the fourth position, so 1, 2, 3, and then 4. This position will install the left bracket that holds that foot treadle in place, and we'll use a nut, a washer, and a bolt. The washer and the nut will go on the underside. The position here will leave for any kind of a foot treadle for, say, a clutch motor if you have that. So this is a good position that we're installing this in to put that. Ow! Ooh, that hurt. Let's show that again. Ow! One more time. Ow! Alright, moving on. Thought that was pretty funny. There's the bracket installed for the left side, and just tighten it down with a socket or a wrench. Okay, before we install the other bracket or even the foot treadle, let's put this arm on the foot treadle itself. And you can see this one side has holes, and you want to put it on so that it faces to this side, so it'll be facing towards the right side when this foot treadle is installed to your K-legs. The smaller of the bolts in your kit go in these two holes, and then we'll just use those nuts on the back side and tighten those in place. And you're all set, ready to go. Alright, we'll obviously use a wrench to cinch those down in place. The positioning of this is not that important as long as it's there on the right side. Now we'll put it on that bracket that we installed, and we'll put the right hand bracket in place, and it's done quite simply the same way as we installed the first bracket. Make sure the foot treadle moves back and forth freely. We're installing the bolts, then the washer and the nut on the back side, and then tighten them all down, being sure that that foot treadle moves back and forth freely without binding. There we are. Moving on to the linkage bars, we'll take the linkage bar and we will remove this nut and leave the lock washer and the nut behind there, and then install the nut here and tighten it onto that little arm that we attached earlier to the foot treadle. And there it is installed just like that. Now we'll tip that table back over again, and we'll take the professional sewing machine and take out the hinges so we can lay this sewing machine on its side. Set those aside for now. Put the machine on its back carefully, and now you can get to the underside. Now this wire will attach to this bracket assembly here. It may already be attached, but if not, then just simply take that that wire that has the NiCoPress sleeves already pressed into it and push it through and catch the other side. Once we bring that loop around to the other side of this bracket, we will feed the wire in through the loop, very similar to what you'd find on a luggage tag, to lock it in place. Now we find the knee lift doesn't work as well as this sort of system, and it's also quite convenient to just use your foot to pull down and lift the presser feet on the professional sewing machine. So we think you're going to like this system. So again, we just feed that wire through that opening, and then we run it up through that bracket. So you can see exactly where it's installed on this knee lever assembly here. It just runs on the opposite side of that bracket where that arm is attached. And then we'll feed that NitroPress sleeve up through the top and roll it around. This may take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, and it's also helpful to have a second person, which I did not have in this video. That way you can hold that bracket out so that you can actually grab hold of this. And you can see we're trying to feed that NitroPress sleeve through this loop. Using a screwdriver definitely makes it easier. So again, this may already be installed on your machines. If it's not, then do it exactly as you see here in the video. Now it works pretty beautifully. So once you apply pressure to the foot treadle, that will push that bracket assembly down and lift your foot. Put the hinges back in place and then gently put that machine back into its tabletop, making sure the wire's hanging down. There we are. It's in position, ready to go. Now we'll put that belt back on. You have to obviously remove the belt to remove the sewing machine from the tabletop. And we'll concentrate now on linking up that wire with the linkage bar down below. The linkage bar is actually used for the clutch motor, but it actually makes a pretty good system if you just unscrew this top assembly here and then just feed the loop onto that bar and then screw that top assembly back down again. It actually makes an adjustable linkage for that wire. So it can be adjusted in the future if you need to reposition the foot treadle, or if you have a wire that's stretched or anything like that. So I would definitely recommend using it. Even though it's not fancy, it works. Why not use what works? And then just screw that back into position there. Once it's on tight, then just take that wrench and cinch that nut in at the bottom side. So there's where the wire will rest, right above that large knob. Now we just tighten in place, and now I'm going to apply some pressure down on the foot so this side's down. You want to make sure that the foot treadle is all the way in the up position, so my heel is actually resting on that. Then I'm adjusting this to make sure that there's no slack. We want it fairly tight. We don't want a lot of slack in that. And then just cinch that bolt down. So that's what that linkage system does. It makes it fully adjustable, so you can adjust it right where you want it. With that in place, you're ready to use the system. Doesn't take much, but it raises the foot nicely, as you see here in the video. Apply some pressure with your foot, and the foot raises up just like that. You're done. This is a great system for the professional sewing machines. I'm Eric Grant with Say Right. Thanks for watching.